Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a good day. Coming live from my home again, so I'm hoping that the Wi-Fi works well. Just here visiting with my kitty cats, getting some work done. And we're having another rainy, crappy day, so I just didn't feel like going out yet to go back to the studio, but I'll have to go back there eventually. So my topic for today is on diets, and the reason why is because I talk to a lot of clients, and when weight is an issue and they want to lose weight, I ask them to, tell me what they would normally eat in a day so I can see what their nutrition looks like. Hey Keith, hi Ryan, how are you guys? um, and quite often, I can spot the problems right away, and most of the time it's just overly restrictive. They're restricting themselves way too much. They're not getting the proper nutrients that they need, and I can see that it's not going to be something that is really sustainable long term. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about diets and why they don't work. Hey Alyssa. So just the word diet, it kind of makes you think temporary, right? So you think, I'm going to go on a diet, lose some weight, and then what? You go off the diet? That's what most people do, and then guess what happens? You gain the weight back. And not only do you gain the weight back, you gain back a little bit of extra weight because you have now done some damage to your metabolism. So it's just a really vicious cycle. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about that. And, we're led to believe that if you want to lose weight, you have to go on the diet to lose weight. And it's just, that's not the way things work. It might work temporarily, but it's not going to be long lasting. And, who wants to be on some kind of weird diet where they're always restricting themselves? It's not something that they can really sustain for a long time. Sorry, what's that? Ryan, message reads video will begin in a moment, but I can hear you. Okay, so I guess you guys can hear me but not see me. So it's probably just something going on with the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is really weird today. So let me know if you do start to see me or if you stop hearing me. Let me know so I can get back to the studio and try this out there. Diets, as I was saying, it's temporary. So they're not sustainable and you don't learn anything, right? So most diets that are prescribed are quite restrictive, so they're usually quite low in calories. Sometimes they even eliminate complete food groups, which is terrible because our bodies are meant to have bits from all the different food groups. When you follow these diets, you don't learn about proper nutrition. What you do learn is slashing calories will cause you to lose weight temporarily, and it'll also make you grumpy and leave you with crazy cravings that are almost unbearable, and all you can think about is these cravings, and you can't wait to be off of your diet. And then when you go off of your diet, you gain the weight back. So if that's something you can sustain long term, for most people, no. So it's not going to be a long term solution for you. And if you're constantly going on diets and you're slashing calories and being really restrictive, it really does do a lot of damage to your metabolism and your hormones as well. If you're not getting the proper nutrients, you will really mess up your hormones, and that's where things get really messy. So that can be a hard thing to bounce back from. So next reason why diets don't work is, or actually what diets do is, they actually lead to weight gain. So you think, okay, diet, going to lose weight, and maybe you do, but again, it's temporary, and it leads to actual weight gain over the long term. So if you're a chronic dieter like I was, you've probably already learned this the hard way. You go on the diet, you lose the weight, and then the weight comes back, and a little bit more comes back, and before you know it, you're having a really hard time losing any weight at all. And this is because your body has gone into sort of a survival mode. So what happens when you really restrict calories, or if you eliminate food groups, is your body thinks that it's going to go into starvation, and your body wants to survive. That's the main function of the body, is to keep surviving. So what your body does is it slows everything down, slows down your metabolism, so that you start storing fat and hanging on to that fat. And so that way, if you don't get food in the next little while, you won't die because you've got fat storage. So that's what your body is doing. And the problem with that is that we haven't run out of food. We have lots of food, but if your metabolism slows down and then you start eating more food, your body's going to store more and more fat, and that's just your body trying to survive. So by starving it, going on these diets that are super low calories, you're doing yourself so much damage, and you're going to make it so much harder to lose weight down the road. And I struggled with that when I was younger, and it took me a long, long time to get my body working properly again. And some of the damage that I did is still with me. So you can really do some long-term damage by dieting a lot and doing these super low calorie diets. Another thing about diets is they mess with your mind. So your brain needs food. It needs all the nutrients. It needs enough calories. When you don't get enough calories, you feel tired and foggy. You have a hard time concentrating. I'm sure some of you have experienced that. The other thing that it does is it really affects your state of mind. So it will actually lead to depression and anxiety, which was probably the root of my depression and anxiety when I was younger. And that's not a good place to be, and it's a hard place to get out of. So you have to be feeding your body the proper nutrients, feeding your brain the proper nutrients in order for your mind to stay healthy. And once you get into depression and anxiety, it's really hard to get out of it. No matter how much you want to get out of it, it's really hard. It's just the way your brain is working at that time. So not somewhere where you want to go, and by slashing calories and cutting out food groups, trying to lose weight, it's not worth it at all. The other thing about diets is they can make you feel super isolated. So one of the great human experiences is sharing food with each other, and it always has been since the beginning of time. Tribes that shared food and meals, they actually lived longer than individuals that would eat their food by themselves. So sharing is really part of the whole human experience. And it's something that we crave, it's something that we need, it's instinctual. So if you're on some stupid diet and you're out with friends and they're all enjoying a certain meal and you can't, oh thanks Ryan, so audio and video is good now. Awesome, cool. If you're out with them and they're all enjoying something and then you're like, oh, well, I'm just going to get a salad, like you just feel isolated. Or like when I was on a diet where I was given special meals, it's like, okay, well, my friends want to get together to eat, but I have to eat a special meal. It's like, there's no worse feeling. Like you just feel like such a loser and you feel completely isolated. Like for myself, it got to a point where I just didn't go out and eat with my friends anymore. I didn't want to. When they wanted to go out for food, I would make reasons why I couldn't join them. I would join them afterward just because it was just too awkward for me. So, isolating yourself like that really can, do a number on your brain and your mood as well. So that was probably part of the depression as well, just being isolated from friends. And then diets can also create a really bad relationship with food. So on diets, typically there are good foods and bad foods. And when you're on a diet and you happen to eat one of those bad foods, if you're like me, totally beat yourself up over it and, you're just totally upset over something that shouldn't be upsetting you so much. So having that kind of relationship with food where you see it as good or bad, not healthy at all, and pretty miserable. So there are foods that are more healthy than other foods, but you shouldn't be labeling your foods as bad and good and then, getting super upset with yourself for indulging in something that you consider bad. So you don't want to get yourself into that kind of situation. It's just, it's another hard one that's hard to get out of and hard to correct. So those are the 5 points that I wanted to make about diets, and this was kind of inspired by a client of mine that I was talking to earlier, and she was letting me know what she eats typically in a day. And just when I read it, I was just like, oh, all these red flags popped up. I've been on similar diets that she's kind of following right now, and it just made me really start thinking about it and thinking about how many people are probably thinking that that's the way to go when they want to lose weight, is to go on these, super restrictive, low-calorie diets. And if you want to lose weight, you need to have healthy foods. You need to have enough of the nutrients that your body needs to function properly. And you just need to figure out, the right portion sizes. And you also need to figure out how to include foods that you enjoy, because you can't think of it as a diet. You need to think of it as a healthy lifestyle. You need to think of it as something that you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. So, If you know, like myself, I love wine. I could never say I'm never going to have wine again. So I figured out how to include that in my typical eating and not have it be a problem. So it's something that I really enjoy having, and I knew that that needed to be a part of my healthy lifestyle. So I fit it in, figured out where it would fit in, and still got the results that I wanted with my weight. So you can figure this out if you like by talking to somebody who's knowledgeable about nutrition. I figured it out because I took a nutrition course, so I tried out what I was learning on myself. But if you need to talk to somebody, I'm here. I can help you figure it out. And it is possible to eat the things that you do love and still be healthy and still be at a healthy weight, and you don't need to go on these crazy diets. Hi Jennifer, how are you? Hey Nikki. And Nikki, you just completed about 6 weeks healthy, balanced, cleaner eating and down almost 20 pounds. Awesome, Nikki. That is so great. And like, how great do you feel? When you lose 20 pounds from eating clean, healthy foods, you feel awesome. When you lose 20 pounds from starving yourself, you feel like crap. And then the weight starts to creep back on. So, it's got to be sustainable. It has to be something that makes you happy. Otherwise, it's not going to work long term. And as I mentioned, the damage that you can do to your body by restricting too much and by excluding certain food groups, really hard to bounce back from, both physically and mentally. So it's not where you want to go if you're trying to lose some weight, if you need to lose weight. I'm so glad you're feeling great, Nikki. That's awesome. Love it. So I have to take off, and oh, Nikki, you're exercising 3 to 4 times a week too. Yay, that's awesome. And that's the other thing too. You can't just diet and not work out. You need to move that body. You need to work out to have that healthy lifestyle. So diet and I don't even like calling it diet. Nutrition and exercise, they go together. So healthy nutrition, exercising, anywhere from 3 up to 6 days per week. Make sure you have a day off where you're not exercising. That's what you need to do, and you need to make a part of your lifestyle so that you enjoy it. And it really can be done because from where I came from and where I am now, I'm telling you, it can be done. I didn't think so, but I made it happen, and it really can be done, and it's great when you get there. Ryan, thoughts trigger feelings, which trigger actions, which give a person the results of their thoughts. Yes, it's so true. It makes perfect sense. So what you think will eventually become an action, and that will result in results. That's going to get you results. So that is so true. And I've read a few books on this too, and I just love it. So what you think to yourself, what you want, what you believe becomes your reality. And I think I mentioned that on yesterday's talk as well. And it's true. When I was younger, like the thoughts that I had about myself and about what I could and couldn't do, pretty bad, and it all came true. And then as I got older and started learning more and started getting sick of just being miserable all the time and started changing my way of thinking and started thinking more positively and thinking about things that I wanted and believing that I could get those things, well, it worked. So not overnight, not easily, but it did. So the mindset really does need to be there. So I've got to run, got to get back to the studio, have a class to teach. If you've got any questions or comments, feel free to leave them. Feel free to message me anytime. I got to take off, and I will talk to you again soon. Have an awesome day.